few hundred feet in this mine, and I didn't film the beginning section because it was pretty badly flooded and didn't want to risk dropping the camera, but we are out of the water now, and you can see here, it's a little hard to tell from the camera's point of view, but these are some really big rails with significant spacing too. Pretty impressive actually. And then this haulage tunnel continues directly back into the mountain here as far as I can see. There's a view with the spotlight down the haulage adit. No signs of stopping, so we'll keep going. Here's an old air tank, air receiver, and that's really the first thing of note so far. It's just been a long shot straight into the mountain. What is that? That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a mine that's living. You see that shit? What the hell? That's so weird. Okay, I think we're approaching a junction maybe. I'm not sure. Alright, we've come across this widened area. There's no rails on that other side. Oh, actually there are cross ties extending over there. So they probably had the ore cars move over to the side here if need be, which we see pretty commonly in long haulage tunnels. And we're about 700 feet in per that spray paint indicator. So keep going. Okay, you can still see the light way back there at the portal, and nothing has happened since we last recorded. We've just been walking in a straight line. I think we're about 1,000 feet back at this point, and there's a ton of ventilation pipe right there stored. Not necessarily a good sign. I'm a little worried this will have bad air because this thing shoots back for a long ways and there's no airflow coming out of it, so we will see. Okay, we're about 1,300 feet back. More ventilation piping stored there, and the rails actually shoot off in that direction, so they were using that as a ore car bypass at one point. And I hear a lot of water coming from up ahead, so we'll see what that's about. Okay, that little tiny speck of light you're seeing there is the portal. And we are very close to this source of water, whatever it is. It's pretty loud actually, kind of intimidating. We'll see what's going on in a second. And I guess I'll show the portal direction. Just been walking in a straight line, obviously, since you can still see that dot of light. I think we're about 1,500 feet in at this point. All right, you might be able to hear that water raging in the background. That's right ahead here, it's straight away. And then we have branches going off right and left. To the right, there's a stash of timber. And then there's another air receiver. And then another branch that way. And rails actually do continue this way. I think what I want to do first is check on this massive source of water, see what's going on with that, and then we'll check these branches maybe on the way out. Also, very important to note here, slightest bit of movement there. So, that's good news. There is some airflow. I can't feel it at all actually, but apparently there is, so that's a good thing. We'll go forward here and check this out. Wow, that's a lot of water. There's a sneak peek with the beam light. Yikes. That doesn't look great. Wow. So if you can hear me, there's two chutes here coming down at 180-degree angles to one another, and then looks like some sort of raise right in the middle with a huge amount of water coming down, and a lot of air as well, actually. That's nasty. There's the side of the chute. Okay, we're back at this main junction. That's toward the big waterfall and double ore chutes. And we'll try heading down this right-hand drift, which has a pile of old timbers there. Let's see if this even goes anywhere. Carved out area there. The mine of long tunnels and no features, apparently. Couple carved out areas there, and I think that's the face right there. Yep, that's it. All right, here we are again. We just went down that way. My favorite waterfall is up ahead, and this is the last branch we have. It's an interesting assembly of pipes and fittings. Alright, let's see what we have down here. There's a small collapse. Notice my voice is not echoing at all right here. It's actually a pretty good example of that. Most of that haulage tunnel is incredibly echoey. And then I come in here too, and it's a little more echoey. Yeah, so that's how you know you're in bad ground, is if your voice stops echoing. It's really the first miner's graffiti we've seen. Carbide graffiti, I should say. This is eerily similar to the other drift. I'm kind of afraid it won't go anywhere. The rails are gone now. And I think that's the face. That's it. Alright, and I did want to show you guys the T1 from Thrunite. This is it on turbo. It's actually very impressive for how small of a light this is. Look at this. I mean, this light's maybe 2 inches long. It's got a tiny little lithium battery in it, and it is very, very bright. I'm actually very impressed with this thing, and would certainly recommend it. I think I'll use this a lot actually too. You can also adjust the brightness as well. So, pretty cool light. And there's back toward the portal, and you can still see that pinprick of light, and that is daylight. So we're gonna make our way back out of here. And I think we saw everything there was to see on this level. Alright, today we're looking at the Thrunite T1. They sent this over to me to take a look at and review. I'm not getting paid to do this, but wanted to give my honest opinions on it. So the light itself is really small, as you can see in my hand here. Despite being so small and lightweight, it's a really powerful light, and I was really impressed with it using it in the mine the other day. You can see this is the only button on the light, and when you hit the button, light turns on, and there's also a light under the button as well, which is nice, so you can find it in the dark. I really like that. The button control on this is, in my opinion, a lot better than the other Thrunite light that I reviewed. This button does not have any issues with turning on in your pocket or anything. It's got some resistance to it, which I like, actually. I think the button's really nice. And then on the back side here
is USB port for charging. You just need a cord to plug it into a USB socket, and you're good to go. And the top of the light screws off, and this is the battery that came with the light. It's 1100 milliamp hours, and this is a smaller size lithium battery than I'm used to. This is an 18350. 18650s are fairly common. These are a little less common, I think, but I mean, it's the same diameter as a 18650, of course. So similar battery, but a little smaller. All the electronics are right in here. That's it. Pretty compact. And then battery just goes in like that. So the bulb they have in this thing is a Cree XHP50. In turbo mode, this little tiny light puts out 1500 lumens, which is pretty impressive. I haven't had it on turbo for very long, but it really didn't seem to get that hot either, which is nice. On high, it outputs about 685 lumens, and then you can actually adjust between the high setting and the low setting, and basically be anywhere in between the high and the low. So I'll show you guys that right now. Alright, so the light is currently at the high setting, but if I press and hold the button, it'll dim, and it'll blink when it's at the lowest setting. And so that's, I think, down to like 15 lumens or something like that. But it's cool because you can stop anywhere in between the low and the high setting. Like, you know, if I think that's bright enough, I can just stop there. I've never seen that on a light before. I'm sure it's not a super rare feature, but I think it's pretty cool. And then to get to turbo, you can just double tap the button. And you can see very bright behind me there. And that's the basic functionality behind the button. Again, I really like the button on this one a lot more than the TC20 that I reviewed from them last time.